Hello, I don't know if it's actually live yet. So I'm just gonna look on my phone and see if I'm live. Um, Let me see. Right, it says I'm live. When I went live on my phone last week and the week before, so I'm doing it on here. And I think I've been on here before, but I'm still not used to it. Anyway, it says I've got 2 viewers, so that must mean I am live. So hello. I'm down here as I watch. Oh, no worries, son. So 3 viewers. So hello, I'm coming on like 2 minutes earlier, so I'm just waiting for hopefully a few more people to come in. But you know what? I'm absolutely shattered tonight. I did have a little bit of wine last night, but normally I'm wired the next day after I've had wine. And as I said on my other videos, I've decided to home educate. Oh, do you know what? I'm just going to say home. It's not homeschooling because it's not school. It's not the same as school. That's the easiest way to say it. So I'm homeschooling Ruby. So today was like the first day, and you know what? I'm absolutely wiped out. I feel so tired. And I've just been having a chat with my mum as well about this, me Good Life Guru, and I think my intentions were great. Like I wanted to do this to kind of reach out to people who were in a bad place, or who maybe weren't in a bad place but just stuck in a rut, just to try and help people and kind of put forward the things that I've learned. Bring knowledge to people, bring information. But what I'm finding at the minute is whether it's because I'm just not doing it in the right way or I'm not reaching people in the right way, I just feel like there's not enough engagement for me at the minute to make it a priority now that things have changed in my life. So now that obviously I am homeschooling Ruby, I was already kind of feeling overwhelmed. I've kind of got all that on as well. So I think doing all of this, I just feel like it's not I'm not helping anybody. I'm not serving the way that I would like to think that I am serving people, but I don't think it is. Um, the whole aim was for this chat was to get people on to talk about their mental health, talk about stories, to share with other people. And what's happening is just me talking every week. Just me kind of talking about my life and my situation, which I'm sure people are not really wanting to hear. And there's a few times I've been on live, I put posts on saying if anybody wants to come and talk about things, let us know. And I understand it's sensitive, it's a sensitive subject. But at the minute, because I'm so busy, I'm just starting to think, is this just the wrong time for me to do this? I'm not going to stop completely, but I'm just thinking doing these lives and the things I had in mind, it's probably not worth it right now. But anyway, I am going to have a little bit of a natter tonight. If anybody comes on and wants to come on and join us live, then let us know. But I just thought I'd kind of put that out there that this might be my last Let's Talk Out Loud live session for now. And I was talking about the other day about your goals and about where you are and where you want to be. And are you doing things that align with those goals? And I covered the fact that mine were freedom and flexibility, money. So obviously I need to make money. That's going to give me that freedom and flexibility, and also pleasure. So something that obviously gives us pleasure and brings us joy to my life. And part of that is obviously spending time with my friends and my family. So they were my goals. So when I think about my Good Life Guru and what I'm trying to do here, and I look at what I want to, what's aligning with us, or what I want to align with us, and I think, right, okay, well, is this giving us pleasure? Yes, in a way, especially when I get people on and hear stories, and then other people say, oh yeah, I can relate to that, and that was so good, thank you, that this has come at such a good time for me. Like, that gives me pleasure. I know that I've helped somebody else. So pleasure, tick. Does it bring me money? No, because obviously this is just a free service. This is something I wanted to do with my own time to kind of put people in touch with links and information that they can ideally help themselves with, or be here if anybody wanted to obviously talk and help, instead of having to wait to speak to a counsellor or a therapist. What was the other? Does it give us freedom and flexibility? Like, because it's not giving us money, it's not really giving us freedom. In fact, it's actually taking up my time, to be constantly researching things, which yes, it's helping me anyway, but then obviously trying to put it and deliver it to other people, like building my website and building a Discord that I had great plans for. So for me, I just think because I'm not getting that, I suppose, that pleasure aspect as much, because people aren't, I feel like, needing what I'm doing right now, or wanting what I'm doing right now. So yeah, so I'll keep us all updated, but like I say, I probably won't continue to do these lives if it's not really helping people and people aren't coming on. So I wrote a couple of notes down because, like, I'm absolutely shattered. My brain just feels like it's not working that much tonight. And I just wanted to leave what this could be, obviously the potential last session, just to talk about, like, people and where you are in your life right now. So a lot of people aren't in a good place, and that's kind of a lot to do with the choices that you've made. Whether it's, you know, getting with a partner that's turned out to be really not right for you, whether that's being in a job that you absolutely hate, whether that's, you know, getting yourself in debt because you've got, like, things on finance and now bills have been open. So everything that's kind of happening to her now, it's been because of the choices we've made. And obviously those choices that we make, those choices come from our belief system. So when we are faced with, like, decisions, we look at something, and at that time, for whatever reason, we choose that thing based on what we feel about it. So for example, you might say, well, I'm going to get this car and Emma, by the way, this is not related to you. I just thought there. You might think, I want to get a car on finance because, you know, I really want a nice car. You know, I don't want to get a second-hand one because there might be more problems with it. So I'm going to get, like, a car on finance. Then you get your car on finance, get yourself into a contract, get yourself into, you know, that, what's the word? Like, stuck in that contract. And then inflation, everything goes up, and then you're stuck with this car. And so sometimes it's choices that, you know, we make, and we don't know what's going to happen in the future. So it's not necessarily our fault. But that belief in the system that you've needed that car, needed to go about that, it could be from what people have kind of spoke to. You've seen other people getting cars on finance. So it boils down to, basically, the choices we make are based on our belief systems about things. But obviously, with that situation, that point, like, knowing that there's, like, uncertainty in the world, and that, you know, we shouldn't really, I think we do take things for granted, but we shouldn't take things for granted. Like, anything could change. So I think material things that people go for in life, you just don't know when things are going to change. You know, being good with money and saving and investing and things like that is something that I think a lot of people probably don't think that they're kind of capable to do. But anyway, that's on a money level. But like I said, it could be choosing, you know, a job that you think is good because you love the sound of the title, or your parents expected you to do that job, but you hate it and you're miserable. So all those things are from choices, basically. And a lot of the decisions we make as well is from a subconscious level. So we're all on autopilot a lot of the time when we're doing things, and we're making decisions based on those belief systems that are in the back of our head, and we don't give it sorry, I'm tired, so I'm slowing my words. We don't give ourselves enough time to stop and look at the consequences. Really, it just seems good at the time. And you know, I'm terrible for that. I'm very, very mood orientated, so I'll make decisions based on my mood. So I might go, oh, I'm going to do this, and then the next day I go, oh, why the hell did I say I was going to do that? So I'm very, very mood orientated. So then let's say that you are in a position where you've made shitty choices and you're just not in a good place in your life, and you want to change and you don't know how to. I've wrote a few things that I'm trying to do for myself, which I'll obviously keep you updated if they work, but this is just my personal opinion. From what I think makes sense, what's easy steps to do, and obviously from the people I've watched, like professional people and stuff like that. So step one, I think, and my mum always used to say this, is, you know, tidy house, tidy mind kind of thing. So I would say the first step, if you're feeling like lethargic and just you're stressed, overwhelmed, and you can't get motivated, will be to have a blitz. So clean your house, clean your files on your computer, which is what I've been doing over the last couple of weeks. Organise things, get rid of things, with things that, and they say, like, it's only 6 months. If you haven't used something within 6 months, you're probably never going to use it again. But for me, I'm like, yeah, but I still might need that. So I'm not a holder by any means, but there is a couple of things I think I'm going to keep it. But then what you do is you put it out the way, stick it in the loft, and just think more minimalistic on things, like clean up, have a space for things, buy some organisers. And actually, I was looking at YouTube on good organising tips and where to put things and stuff. So first thing would be clean your life up. So your house, give your car a good clean, get rid of all that rubbish. And for me anyway, when I'm in a tidy, clean house, like I just feel like I can breathe. Otherwise I can't concentrate when there's loads of stuff all over the place. If you've got kids, sometimes that's not as easy, and then you find yourself constantly tidying up. So what I would say is just get a space where you can go out and think to rest your mind. So number 1, clean, organise. Step 2, and this is because I'm going through this at the minute, would be to know yourself. And again, going back to those belief systems, right? So you can think that you are a certain way because someone's told you, somebody's repeatedly told you, or you've experienced things where people have treated you a certain way and your perception of it is a certain way. And again, I'm going to keep bringing up my mum. So like my mum used to always say to me, because I had a massive problem with this when I was younger, I used to feel like I was different with different people. And then part of us was like, am I being false? Like I can be like really happy and really just stupid with some people, like really just geeky and stupid. And then other people I'd been more mature and more conservative and hello, not posh or anything. I wasn't fake in that way, but I just felt like that part of us wasn't suited to this situation, and it made us feel like a fraud. And I remember I used to coming back home from school or wherever I had been and having a bit of a cry myself in the shower, thinking, what I've done again, why can't I just be myself? And I really struggled with that. I mean, my mum used to say there's and she's watching, so she can correct us if I've got this right or wrong. But there's the person that you think you are, so you can think a certain thing about yourself. Then there's the person that you think people think you are. There's the person that people think you are, and then there's you. So I think that's 4, isn't it? So you, and people will probably do this, so tell us if I'm right. Like you will kind of be in a situation or meet people, and you've got an idea in your head of the type of person that you think they think you are. So you might say like, oh, that person thinks I'm funny, or this person thinks I'm a bitch. Well, actually I'm not. Or so you've got that idea of what you think that person thinks you are. What they actually think of you, which is the other one, might be completely different, and you might never ever know. And I think this is a hard little thing to get sucked into, because what happens is whoever you think, this is going to be a tongue tie, whoever you think, right, whatever you think, sorry, that they think you are, that's normally how you are. So like expectations, so if somebody thinks, you're very responsible and you're very caring, and that's what you believe they think you are, then that's kind of how you then act around that person. So anyway, like I said, I really, really struggled with that. And now I'm realising that they're all parts of me. So I can be really geeky and stupid. And you know what? David sees every part of me. And I think that's why I'm so comfortable with him. Like he sees us at my best, he sees us at my worst. And I feel like I can be all of those characters with him, depending on what mood I'm in. But anyway, now I'm realising that you're not fake. It's just when you're with somebody or with a group of people, that they bring out different parts of you. So somebody, you might, like, I've got different groups of friends, and I don't know about other people, but so some groups of friends are like all similar, like really silly, have a good laugh, and some of them I have like really deep conversations with, and I'm starting to kind of accept that there's different parts of us anyway. But this step 2 anyway, I'm going on a bit long, but know yourself. So just get to know the different parts of you and be okay that you're different with different people. My thing was, what if all of these people are in the same room together? Who do I be? And that's what used to stress me out, thinking, well, how do I act if I'm, say, in a room with someone where I'm normally quite mature and sensible, and then I've got my friends who I'm just stupid with. If I start being stupid, are they going to think I'm being fake? Or like, oh god, she's a bit weird tonight. Or if I start being all like mature with me fun friends, are they going to think, well, who's she trying to impress? And that used to really stress me out. So yeah, but anyway, knowing yourself. So how do you get to know yourself? This is something that I'm still in the process of doing, because we are conditioned for years on, those teachers saying to you, oh, you're really good at this, or you're not that good at this, but at least you're good at this. And when we get told who we are from other people, and we take it in when we're kids, we don't understand, we take it in and we believe it, which is why it's really important, if you've got kids, to try and not kind of say too much on you're this, you're this, you're this. And there's something I'm just going to add in as well while I'm still on this step 2. I seen the other day and I thought, God, that's so true. And it was, don't say to your kids, like, which you can still say, but I am so proud of you. So you can still say that, but what we need to say as well is, are you proud of yourself? Because what happens is saying things like that to them is when they get older, they're looking for outside approval and they're looking for someone else. They're looking for to prove someone else. They're looking, I tell you, I'm tired. They're looking for that approval for someone else. So they're kind of waiting for someone to go, that's really good. You did a good job there, instead of trusting in themselves that they've done the best they can do. So teaching our kids to be proud of themselves as well as saying that you're proud of them, I think it's really important. So things like that. But anyway, what I'm doing at the minute in this NLP thing is I'm working out, you know, what my values and what my beliefs are. Because you can get values and beliefs that are obviously passed down from your parents. So it might even be like religious beliefs, or, you know, things that your parents like say to you. I'm trying to think of an example. Give us an example, someone, ma'am. I can't even think. Like for example, this is something stupid, but like just say making your bed when you get up. My mum always used to say, you know, make your bed as soon as you get up, because then you've at least accomplished one thing in the morning and your bed's tidy and it's all done. Where some people's mums might say, well, why make your bed? Because you're getting back in it late and you never really spend much time in your room. So that's the kind of thing I mean. So it can go deeper than that, but that's the only thing that's kind of come to my head. So you do things because that's what your parents have done or you've been told to do, kind of thing. So challenge those and think, well, what do I want to do? Does that suit with me? I like making my bed. So I agree with my mum, even though I know that's come from her. Like, I quite like that. But challenge your values and your beliefs. Like tradition, exactly, like common opinions and traditions that get passed down, and sometimes they're not what aligns with you and your soul and what you want, because everybody's different. I'm just going to go with Amanda said, I agree with step 1, definitely certainly helps me, and this year I've had a massive declutter at home. It's also helped my mind. Honestly, it does. You feel so much better. I think I can't think of one person that will clean and go, I feel shit now. They may feel tired, but they'll go, wow, 1, it's an accomplishment, and 2, it feels good and nice and clean. But yes, so knowing yourself is also, so challenging your beliefs, and then asking yourself questions, but really asking them as well. And like I just said at the beginning about, for me personally, what I want out of life. So that's a good one to start with, you know, like how would you like to be if you could be anybody? Like, would you want to be funny? Would you want to be, you know, caring? Would you want people to see you as helping people? So you kind of you can decide it. It doesn't matter who you are, who you've been. You can decide who you want to be and what feels right for you, and then start doing the things that are going to make you feel like that. Okay, that I am that person, and kind of go with it like that. But definitely questions, asking yourself questions. Like, if you know how people say like, oh, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? Like, we don't really ask that about ourselves. Like, when we meet someone, we might say, you know, if you were to go for a first date, where would you go? But then if you're in a relationship and everything, you kind of know each other, you forget, you don't ask about yourself anymore, and you change. And again, I'll keep bringing my mum up. Like, my mum will say, told me when I was younger, you know, every 5 years, or 5 to 7 years, you'll be a different person. She used to say to me, you know, in 5 years' time, the opinions you've got now and the way you feel now won't necessarily be what you're feeling like when you're older. You will have completely different opinions, and you do. And if you're an adult now, you'll know that that's the truth. But obviously, kids and teenagers thinking they know everything will probably not believe you. But I'm just going to read this. Who are you when you are alone, exploring how you feel about X, Y, Z? That's probably the best way to put it as well, is do them questions when you're on your own, so you haven't got that external, them expectations. But yeah, get to know yourself. Write stuff down. Who are you? What do you like? What things do you not like? And some things that you don't like, you won't be able to change. Some things you will. Something like, I used to be very defensive, which there's always normally a reason for it. So I was very defensive, and a lot of it was because I felt like people weren't understanding where I was coming from or who I was as a person. Again, my perception. I thought that people sometimes didn't get what I was saying or where I was coming from. And I'll get defensive, which is a reactive mechanism, really. So now I'm trying to learn not to be reactive and not to make things necessarily about me. So if somebody like snaps or kicks off, I think, oh God, she must be having a bad day. This is not personal. This is her issue. So true. I've definitely changed in my 30s for sure. Definitely. Stacey, one of the questions you're taught to use as a therapist is, if you went to sleep and a miracle happened overnight, what would your world look like? Same concept. What would yeah, exactly. So, and this is what it boils down to, because it's your life. So who do you want to be? I did this thing years ago, actually. I'm trying to think where it is. And it was, let's find it, because I am trying to get organised, but I forgot where I put that folder. Wait there, I'm looking. Oh, I put them on the floor because I'm still tidying them up. Forgot for a second. So, I did this a while ago. Oh, you should see this, man. I've got the organiser. This is my life organiser folder. And it's good just to get yourself a journal, or do it on a bit of paper on the computer. I'm just going to find it with a... Right, it's on this one. I've already seen it. Oh, there it is. So, it's got... So, who do you want to be? What you want to do and what you want to have. So, those are the three things. Hi, baby, you singing? So, this is a couple of years ago, actually. I'm going to read little bits now and see if I'm kind of there, right? So, what do I want to be? I want to be financially free to spend quality time with friends and family. And that's still my goal. To nurture my daughter and be an amazing parent. And do you know what it is? That's like right now, I've just deregistered from school, which means I get to spend more time with her and nurture her needs, not just kind of put her in school, which is great, and I love school personally. But I just believe it's not for everybody, and I don't think it's for Ruby. So I suppose I'm nurturing her and letting her lead her life and her interests and stuff. I want to be fit and healthy. That one's still a little bit, bit of a delay on that one. Fulfilled with life, helpful and valuable with people. I want to be fun and stress-free. I want to be more conscious and able to live more in the moment. So I've got only to-be's, to-do's, things like things that bring me, I want to do things that bring me joy and a sense of purpose. Now this right now, I feel like this is a sense of purpose for me, and I've always felt like that. I've always felt helping people. I don't know what it is. I've always like wanted to fix or help and do stuff. I want to perform around the world with music. I want to write a book. I want to provide an online course, which I kind of have. I've got my Forex course. I want to play guitar and saxophone well. Guitar's still very basic. But anyway, I'm not going to go for all of it, but that's a few of them. And then what do I want to have? So I want to have multiple streams of income, a financial abundance, a positive, fun, ambitious circle of friends, security for my daughter's future and my retirement, more time to spend life living it, enjoyment in every day, good social life. So like mine's all about just like experiences and being free and fun. And so do that. Write your... Oh, it's because I'm further away. Can you hear us better now? So yeah, so get yourself, and I even drew a little picture of myself, look. Oh, because it fell out. Wait there. So I've drew myself a little picture, and just literally write what you want to do, who you want to be, and what you want to have. So so we are still on number 2. So step 1 was clean, organised. Step 2 was know yourself, and that is, you can deep dive into that. And honestly, go online, like YouTube. YouTube is amazing. Like I'm constantly, even my audio books that I've read, I go online and I search things in. Number 3, step 3. Oh, actually, someone wrote something before. I love writing lists and taking them off daily. Oh, do you know what I do? I'm a proper list freak. There's nothing better than ticking off for me. That's not going to be suitable for everybody, but for me, I love. But that's one of my biggest motivators, is the feeling of accomplishment, which is why I like ticking. Emma, can you hear us better now? So step 3, anyway, I've put, so clean, organised, step 1. Step 2, know yourself and what you want. Step 3, are you aligned? So once you kind of know what you want to do, have, like, is that what you've got in your life right now? So ask yourself, right, what can I tick off? What can I tick off? What is am I there? And if you're not, there's that gap. There's just a gap that you need to fill from like where you are to where you want to be. This is again what I'm doing, what I'm going through right now with myself. So where you are, where you want to be, and then this middle bit is where you want to be working on, which is going to come next, right? So step 4, and just to add to step 3, are you aligned? The reason why what you can do, and I'm just going to give you this little tip from the NLP course that I'm going through, but if anybody wants his details, I'll pass it on, was he got us to write a list of my achievements and then write down my motivator. So he gives you a list, and then you kind of go, well, what motivated us to do this? So what motivated us to do this? And then you tally them up. And mine was a feeling of accomplishment, right? So a feeling of accomplishment isn't really necessarily going to get me my goals. So that's why I'm like, right, now I need to step back and really work on my goals properly. So you can do that yourself. Write down what is motivating you to do this. Is it going towards your goals? If it's not, look at kind of putting it on the back burner or doing something else. Exactly. I love writing them, but I always forget about. Imagine, you know what it is though. I've said one of my issues was I'll have like to-do lists on a sheet of paper. Like at the minute, I'm back to my A4, my sheet of paper, and then I'll go to my phone, and then I'll go online, and I need to just pick one and stick to it. That's my issue. So anyway, where was it up to? Oh yeah, so number 3 was make sure you're aligned. Step 4 is basically, and this is a complex one, it's massive, it's not just a simple thing, but make a plan for a better you. So whether that plan will look different for everybody, and I think this is one of the posts I put the other day on Facebook, and I said, do people even know what help to look for? Like, do they need counselling, therapy, like NLP, like, do they even know what they need? So I think though, if you work out, where you are and where you want to be, and what's not aligning with you, those areas, them are obviously your limitations, and what's kind of probably stopping you from going forward. Is it the fact that, say for example, you want to start gigging, you want to start being a singer, and you feel like you can sing, but you haven't done it? Is it because you're needing a PA system? Is it because you just need your confidence? Is it fear that's stopping you? Is it money? Work out what them barriers are. What's stopping you from getting to where you want to be? So yeah, but make a plan, like, and of course write down where you want to be, and then try and manifest that daily as well. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. So make a plan, and you might say, well, actually, I can't move on because the traumas of my past have left me feeling useless, worthless, depressed. Oh, no bother, babes, thank you. Worthless. And then maybe you need to go and visit that and kind of work through that. But NLP, as the practitioner who I'm working with have said, NLP is more of a quick way to get to where you want to be. So kind of it skips all the past stuff and just kind of puts things in place to move you forward. But personally, I think there's certain things where you need to maybe revisit, but certain things you might not need to. Yeah, so it's basically make a plan. So who are you? What do you want? Are you getting it now? No. Bridge that gap by making a clear plan. So it could be like, for me as well, like I really want to get into dancing, but I feel like I'm overweight, and I know there's overweight dancers, but I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel like I look good, because when I've been at a different weight, I felt healthier. I haven't been like out of breath. So for me, in order to do that, I feel like I need to get fit. Even though dancing is a fitness thing in itself, standing in front of a mirror, doing it with other really fit, gorgeous people, I felt uncomfortable, and it hurt me bloody knee, put my knee out. Getting older, so for me, I need to really focus on my fitness. So right, okay, so what do I need to do to focus on my fitness? So for me personally, my plan is, hit me 10,000 steps a day, eat a certain amount of calories, because I'm doing calorie count, which means I'm not restricted, but also cut down on carbs, because I love me carbs. So it's not cut them out, I'm just cutting down, eating a balanced diet. But that's just me, but you might be different. So that's just to give you an example. What is your goal? What do you need to do to get there? Give yourself a time frame, and then do the things that you need to do to get there every day. or at least every day. Because obviously consistency is key. It's like it's knowing what to do, what you want, then it's putting a plan in place, then it's obviously doing it and being consistent with it. And there's a great book. I'm going to share some book things that I've read that I'd recommend. In fact, I'll put them in a list, right? But it's called, there's two of them that are similar. One's A Slight Edge, and the other two is called The Compound Effect. So The Compound Effect, I don't know if you've ever heard that story where they say, oh, there was this man in hospital and he had his two sons and he was in bed and he said, right, I'm going to give you with me will or whatever, like I'll either give you £1 million or a penny that doubles every day. And one brother took the £1 million and the other one took the penny. And it wasn't long before he totally flew over that 1 million because the compound effect, compound interest. So it's doubling every day, and before long it just becomes ridiculous. So that's kind of the short version of the story, but the compound effect is great. Compound effect, sorry, is amazing. So it's in the book it compares things like, you know, two friends, and say if I have a pizza at night, that's not going to do much to us just having that one pizza. But if I have like a pizza, then I have chips, and I have loads of bad things that are over my calories or whatever every single day, that I'm kind of like going down the way. I'm not maintaining. I'm not losing. I'm kind of just, I'm putting on more and more and more and more. And then someone else, they might have one pizza once a week, but then they're eating healthy, and over time, like in a week they might not see a difference, in 2 weeks they might not, but over time that compound effect will work. So Compound Effect is a really good book to read. Slow as A Slight Edge, and The Slight Edge talks more about something that's easy to do, but it's also easy not to do. So for example, choosing between, say, an apple and a cake. It's really easy to choose the apple, but it's also easy to choose the cake. So it's easy to do, but it's also easy not to do. So it's things that we're faced with that are so simple, but we find that we can't even do that. So anyway, that book's really, really good. And then the rest of the books I'll kind of put in. The Power of the Subconscious Mind is probably one of my favourites though. And Untethered Soul, and The Power of Now, 4-Hour Work Week. Anyway, I will list them all in there, and you can get them free. Sometimes I'll go to YouTube and type in. So honestly, power of YouTube is amazing. Amanda, do you know what it is? I've went through a couple of days of just wanting peanut butter sandwiches, and obviously the peanut butters can be quite good, it's protein and stuff, but the bread, like, oh, bread's my favourite. The smell of bread, the feeling of bread, the taste of bread, like I just love bread so much. So I can't obviously cut it out of my life altogether, but I'm trying to kind of just reduce it for now. So just a quick recap anyway, and if anybody's got any questions or anything they want to talk about, then let us know. So obviously, to get ourselves a better life, clean, organised. 2, know yourself. 3, are you aligned? And then 4, if you're not aligned, make a plan, and make it a detailed plan. You can do checklists, because we need to have a goal in place so we know where we're going to, and we know that we're on the right track. So it could be, for example, if I'm losing weight, you know, just to weigh daily. Some people measure, whatever, but something that you can track your progress. I think that's really important. Like with Forex, we're told to journal. So journal your trades, and then over time you can say, oh God, actually every time I trade on a Monday, I lose. So then I'm just not going to trade on Mondays. I'm going to look a bit more into that. So it's good to kind of look at your progress to see if you're heading towards that goal. Otherwise, how are you going to know? How are you going to know that you've got there, kind of thing as well. Bread, butter, crisps, God, I can't speak to most stuff. It just makes me feel. I've just signed up for the gym, you know. Literally tonight I've signed up. I'm going to start going to the gym. I was going to come back to something earlier. Anna says, well, I'm going to come back to that, and I forgot what it was. Don't know if anyone remembers what I said I was going to come back to. I'm just looking at this to see if what other notes I was just jotting loads of notes down before I quickly write. Right there. Oh, I don't know. It slipped my mind. But honestly, thank you, hon. Thank you. But I do think, regardless, like, of how we're all different, a lot of us aren't in a good place, and I can bet right now it's probably a lot to do with money. Money's probably the biggest thing. And I was watching a video before actually about money, and it was saying how some people think money is bad. Personally, I think it's bad people who will do anything for money. I don't think it's the money. I think it's just a bad person. So, for example, I had this conversation the week, and they said we were talking about, you know, if would you kill somebody for £1 million, basically? And I was like, I would never do it, no matter how much money anybody give me in the world. I could never ever take someone else's life ever. And then obviously a teenager was like, oh yeah, I would. And I don't think they would, but I think they just said that, oh, I would. And I was like, don't think you would really, but some people would. Some people would do things for like any amount of money, but then it goes down to as well what people's situations are in what people would be prepared to do. But at the same time, I don't think it's necessarily money. It's that person's life or desperation that some people would. But some people are just sick, and they would probably do the things that they do for money for free as well, because they're twats. But yeah, so anyway, this video is about money and just saying that people's things about money. And oh, I think I just remembered what I was going to say. So about like obviously knowing yourself and aligning with yourself as well. I wanted to mention like self-talk and what we say and manifestation and stuff as well. So like when you've wrote your goals out, put things in place to remind yourself of those goals daily. For example, me trying to like lose a bit of weight and get fitter, I've put a dress that I really want to get into on the back of my door that I can look at every morning. And different things work better for different people, but have something there to remind yourself. But anyway, manifestation will come in different forms, but visualizing things. So meditation's really, really good for that. So I should be doing it, but I haven't been lately. And all you do is you can put guided meditation on, but give yourself about 10 minutes just to sit the same time every day, preferably, and just picture that life that you want in your head. Like picture it in your head, go over it. How does it feel? What can you smell things? And just really, really craving every detail, as much detail as you can, every day. And you know, there was research done, and it was in a book I think I've read, and I can't remember which one. But basically, Conor McGregor does this as well. He visualizes his moves in the fight and stuff like that. So they did this test. I'm sure it was like baseball players, and what they did was they had two groups, and they had a group of people who were practicing. They were practicing all the time with the bats and stuff, and then they had people visualizing doing it. So they had people like visualizing that they were like hitting the ball. I forgot if vaguely was it something to do with the muscles. When they come to doing it, the ones who had never done it before and visualised it, like, they were really good. So visualisation is massive, so please don't think it's all woo-woo. Definitely get yourself on there and visualise the life that you want. And on top of visualising it, change the way you speak about yourself. And sometimes we've spoken negatively about ourselves that much that it's hard, so you've got to be really conscious. I still do it. Like, I come on my lives and David's like, you're still doing it? Like, yesterday I came on my live singing and I was like, I sound crap, or I'm like, oh God, I look dead fat, or I look this. So then I'm just constantly keeping that in my body that I'm fat. I am identifying as a fat person instead of saying I'm very health conscious and I'm working on my health right now. Hi baby. No way. What is it? What's the temperature? We've had the hot tub on since about 9 o'clock this morning. It was only 23 degrees.
It's getting warmer because Grandad said she'll leave it on bubbles for 10 minutes and it's getting warmer.
Ah, Grandad's clever, isn't he? Mama said, hi Ruby.
Hi.
Still on. We've only been on for half an hour, 35 minutes. Yeah, only went on half past. Yeah. So I'm going to be going off soon anyway. I downloaded an app on my phone, so every night it reminds me of my daily affirmations. That's really good. Can't remember what it's called. That's really good. Oh, hi Lindsay. Lindsay's on. Hi Lindsay. Hiya. She's not mad at me. Ruby's very matter of fact. Well, she's not my blood sister, but she's like my soul sister. Look at her face. Are you going in the hot tub, Ruby?
Yes.
I'm going to have to now, even though it's 8:10. We've been promising that, and it's just took fucking ages to warm up. So yeah, you probably have a little hot tub. We've got my lights on, haven't we?
Today.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, go down because I'm going to be finished this. Yeah. Lindsay, my mom's little dot. What was I just talking about? Oh yeah, manifestation. Vision boards are really, really good. So if you want like a nice big house or whatever, like I've got my vision board in the kitchen near the kettle, so in the morning I can look at it and then I write down like my yearly goals, then I write down my month's goals again, meticulous. And I've got this big bloody board in my bedroom that's got like, on the top it says, the pain of regret will always outweigh the pain of discipline. Today I will stick to my plan. I will make today's actions get me closer to my goals, which are being fit, healthy, trim, financially free, happy, secure, content and joyful. And then I've got the 4 steps, and I can't remember whose book this was from. One, I think, was it Think and Grow Rich? I can't remember. A purpose and desire, which is what I was saying before. Have something that you want to do, a goal, destination. 2, a plan, a continuous action, a do list, checklist, actions and stuff. 3, a mind closed against negative influence. Now, this is quite important to mention, actually. So there'll be people, naysayers, who will not agree with what you're doing or where you want to be or what you want to do. And a lot of that, not all of the time, but a lot of that is because people, although they kind of say they like to see you happy, nobody wants anybody to change. A lot of people like that comfort and like who you are right now. And I think when people see that you're changing, you're going different directions, and they feel like they're not, subconsciously they'll say things or do things that kind of discourage you, because it's not a selfish thing, it's subconscious, but that apparently happens. So just make sure if somebody kind of makes fun of you or what your goals are, says you're stupid or you'll never do it, just close off against those negative external opinions. And it is a lot harder than you think, so it takes a lot to do that, but hopefully you can get to that place where you can. So for example, if I'm in a club and I'm singing and loads of people compliment us, but that one person like says something like, oh, you can't even sing or whatever, like it really sticks. So we always hold on to those negative opinions, and we should just leave them. 100%. How you feel? I know, honey, we need to catch up, man. But so anyway, does anybody want to bring anything up that I've like spoke about, questions or any advice that you have got anyway to kind of have a better life, to get where you need to be? Like I said at the beginning, like money's a massive thing at the minute, and I think learning how to budget is like really important. Not living beyond your means, especially if it's because you want to kind of please other people. I know as adults we probably don't so much, but obviously when we're younger we kind of do. Like I remember living near a Netto's and being absolutely mortified walking home with my mum with a Netto shopping bags. Whereas everybody raves about Aldi now, don't they, or Primark, Primani as people call it. So just don't live beyond your means to please other people. Like, do you really care if, you know, you drive? Like, I've had bangers for years, actually, my cars. I just, because of the line of work that I'd done as well, I didn't want to invest money into a car. Because obviously I was leaving outside of pubs and clubs and venues. I had to put all my gear in there. Now my car's a little bit nicer, but it's still like, wasn't a fortune. I bought it outright. Just don't know any money on it. Or did it? So yeah, so don't live beyond your means would be one thing. Don't let others dictate your journey. They aren't on your path exactly. And it's so hard now with social media, and we look at everybody else, and it's so. But I think people know this as well, though. Like when they look at people and they go, "Oh, she's got it all together," or "That family looks so happy," or "And why can't it be like that?" And I think we just put a lot of pressure on ourselves as well. Not just people dictating, but looking and feeling like they've got it all together, and not necessarily. I've got 2 notifications. I'm just going to look at my phone so I don't knock this live off. But as well, Mum, so my mum, I'm going to tell you a little story. Actually, I started to come on tonight, but just a little bit tired. So my mum has had chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia for years. And how this is relevant, I know. for this. Step back and take a break to bring you back to the moment when stressed. What do you need right now? Usually nothing. We worry about what has been or is to come. Well, that's it. And the power of now, that's exactly what that book's about. So the power of now is a very, very good book about that. And what they say in the book is that if you stop and go, you know, like my mum just said, the things from the past are in the past, the things in the future are in the future, but right now you're probably a lot of the time fine, absolutely fine, and just use that to kind of get you forward step by step. Oh, what was I going to say? I forgot now. What was I just talking about? I got sidetracked there. I went totally blank. And I was talking about other people's perceptions. Oh, I forgot. Oh, yes. Okay, thank you. I tell you, I'm tired. So my mum had obviously chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia for years. She had to leave her job. She's always worked and been to college and kind of done all these things, even with me and Emma being at home. And then when COVID hit, I don't know if she didn't get diagnosed, but it was definitely, it was really bad. She was really poorly. This was at the beginning when nobody knew what was going on. Like, we were isolating as we were supposed to, you know, dropping food off at my mum's door for her. And she was really poorly, where she thought that was going to be it. And what happened was, because she thought that was it, she thought that was the end of her, she started looking inwards. Forgiveness, which my mum will tell you, so forgiveness, forgiving people, which can be bloody hard, but when we don't forgive other people, it can kind of hold in our body as negative energy, which my mum, I'll go into what she does at the minute in a bit. Oh yeah, on the phone, but she didn't go up to see, because I expected her to go out when she was bloody ill. So anyway, but she was really, really poorly. Started looking into myself. Oh, this is so strange as well. So Stacey mum, who was commenting earlier on, so years ago, when my mum had chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia, because Stacey's a bit of a spiritualist as well. He's laughed at me, don't mind me, I love her, she's loved. She said, for me to learn Reiki, she said, learn Reiki to heal your mum. So she at the time knew that Reiki would be the answer. Well, what did my mum end up doing? Not because I told her that, by the way. So she started forgiving people, and God, that took a lot because she didn't have a good childhood. But she started forgiving people and thanking her body. So like thanking her lungs, thanking this, thanking all of herself. So that was because she started like manifesting, you know, that gratefulness, that gratitude. She started eating a bit healthier. She ended up, after it, right? I remember you had, because you couldn't smoke, because you couldn't really breathe. You didn't smoke for a while, and my mum felt, a spontaneous awakening, still incredible, which was like, wow. So she ended up, and now she's like, she's not got fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, whatever was going on, started loving herself, started getting into Reiki. She's now a trained Reiki master. She does like a pendulum and things, like tarot cards, and she's got like a spiritual side, and just starting to like feel her way through life now, instead of blocking those feelings off and just doing what she thinks needs to be done. She's starting to lead with that intuition more in her gut, which she kind of has always said, but I guess that fear, she's had a lot of blockages. So she's in, I would say, a good place considering like recent events and stuff. With like my granddad being in hospital. Yeah, I think she's in a really good place. So it's really, really powerful. Looking inwards and getting rid of that stress. And I think as well, when you're in that moment, imagine, right, if you see yourself, right, if I was on my deathbed, what would I be saying? I'll be saying, I can't believe I've worried about this, and I can't believe I've stressed about this. And you'd think, oh, give us another chance and I'll do it again. Or if you die, and you would think, well, what was all that worth? And this is what I think about stress. I always say to myself, if I was on my deathbed, what would I say? And I always say, like, you got one life, like, why am I worrying all these worries for nothing? I mean, we lost a neighbour not long ago, and we had been in a house because she'd had a fall and stuff. This is before she passed. And then when she passed, I remember thinking about the things in our house, like our ornaments and our pictures, and thinking all these things that she's kind of done and that she's got means nothing now. Like, it's so sad when you think about it like that. And then it just, for me, that's what kind of regulates my stress. I go, like, it doesn't matter. Like, this doesn't matter, really. All these material things. Yeah, love is all. Love is all you need. But, so me mum now, Mum, do you want to tag your pages into these comments? So, follow me mum. Did I love? Did I show kindness? Did I practice grace? Yeah. But put your universal healing in, or your link tree, or whatever it is, and you can go and have a look. Because honestly, I'm going to tell you this. I hope that if there's any family watching, it's not insensitive. It's just to kind of explain something. So my mum has always had, like, she's always been a bit witchy, right? Wait, I'm just going to read Amanda's comment then first. One life we have to live it in the moment for sure. Be grateful for everything you can and try and take a positive out of every day, even if it's been crap. Exactly. And do you know what it is? These are the things I'm realising, as well as when we have a shit day, there's always normally something to learn from it. So that, like, they'll say, you know, fool me once. Oh, I can't remember the proper saying. Sorry, like mistakes. Like, first time it might be a mistake, but the second time it's like just stupidity. Like, if you because you're making the same mistake again. Alright, so that's my mum's link tree. Honestly, Amanda, whoever's watching, get on my mum's link tree, and it's got links to her healing accord, because she does like card readings, pendulums, and she's obviously just starting out in the public eye, if you like. But back to the story anyway. So she's always had this little thing, but I suppose being scared to kind of explore it. Now she's kind of letting the universe, I suppose, if you like, guide her. And that loads of freaky things have happened lately that have come true. That's been really mental. So she does Reiki readings and stuff, yeah. And then for the last, I would say, 3 months, she's been doing readings, doing cards, and there's been this. Write it in the comments if this is right. So there's been like a father figure card coming out, and there's been like hospital and a bereavement, and they keep coming out. And she said to me the other day, she was like, Hayley, message your dad and just check on him and make sure he's alright. So I messaged my dad, he was fine. David's fine. And then literally 2 days ago, my granddad had a heart attack. He's okay. But literally the night before he had the heart attack, she'd done another card reading, and the 4 cards had came out. She predicted her mum's date of death last year. She didn't know what it was at the time, but she'd put this information, and I'm like, wow, this is mental. So anyway, she did that, and then he went in for a heart attack. It's like she kind of knew, and now she's starting to get more confirmation that things that's coming to her, and the way she explains it is it's just like downloads. They just come, and she just has this knowing. Oh, is it okay? Yeah, he's in hospital. He's all right. But he's normally fit and healthy. But yeah, thank you, hon. So that is just mad. So if anybody wants a kind of reading from your mum, like I say, at the minute she's very, very reluctant to kind of put herself out there because it's all new. Even though she's getting all these stuff, it's still for her trying to make sense of it all. So if anybody wants to go and like have a bit of a trial, have a reading and give her that practice, then drop her a message. I see visions when I'm with physical people. And even when we were younger, even I remember woo-woo things happening, like you heard Judith's voice. Anyway, it's really mad. And so yeah, but it's good that just following where it's meant to be. And a lot of work I think would do, like I've always said I've got more of a logical brain, whereas I look at things like logical, I need structure, I need this, instead of being more just going with me feelings. And this is where the whole soul element of me Good Life Guru as well comes in, is trusting that gut instinct and that feeling and auras and energy and all of that kind of thing. We need to get a little bit of that. And I think a lot of for years it's kind of went away. Like in the olden days that they did a lot of things like this, but now everything is just do, isn't it? It's like get up, you know, make your breakfast, do this, go to work, do this manual job, come back, make the tea, blah, blah. There's not enough time just to feel and be guided. which we definitely need to do more. And again, something that I'm doing. So, but anyway, before I go, I'm gonna show you one last thing, which I think, Amanda, you might actually like this. So there's different names for it. So there's the human compass, or there's the also belief coding is who oh, what's her name? Jess Cunningham. She was on Apprentice. Oh my god, that's amazing. You're really going to eat butterflies and gingerbread men. Little Play-Doh things will be just made. Like Play-Doh, don't you? 2 minutes, my little darling. Right, okay. But you know what it is? It's probably because, like you said before, you love lists. So part of you probably feels that, like, satisfied in a way, or accomplished that you've got these in place. It's like catch-22 for me. I hate routines because I want to feel free to make me choices on the spot. But at the same time, I also need routine and lists, so I'm not overwhelmed with all of the stuff. So it's kind of like a catch-22. It's getting the balance right. Oh, my mum saying she's not scared now. I'm laying every day and feel best. I know, I bet it is. I bet it is. But listen to this then, right? So this going on this feeling thing in my bodies have got a knowing. And obviously that subconscious mind, I was saying like earlier on, you've got your conscious mind where you're like, now I'm talking, I'm going, oh, I'm talking. I'm actually talking, I'm talking about this, it's conscious. But a lot of the things we do is from our subconscious mind, and a lot of it is from habit. So for me, the habit of, like, you know, when I'm feeling a certain way, I go to the cupboard and I get some crisps or get some chocolate, like that habit, for me is quite, it's a bad habit, so I need to replace it with a good habit, because sometimes it's hard just to stop, and people think it's stupid, like, well, just stop. Well, it's kind of not as easy as that. But anyway, this is called the human compass. There's another few names, but like I said, Jess Cunningham, she's got this thing. If you go into Google, belief coding, obviously they charge a lot of money for it, but I'm going to tell you bits of how to do it. And what you can do is you can kind of go back in your life and find out if there's any, like, trapped emotions or trauma in your body and stuff. And what you do is you can use different tools to do this, but you can use just your body by standing up. So I'm not going to stand up right now, but if you stand up, right, and what the aim is to ask yourself, I'll come closer for volume, but if you stand up, you ask yourself questions, and then your body will respond yes or no, right? So if you do, oh, I know, Mum, I'd already kind of been like doing it, like with Jess Cunningham, can't even say her name probably, Cunningham, the human compass. So you stand up and you ask yourself a question, but first of all you need to identify, like, what is yes and what is no. And this is kind of what my mum does with her pendulum. So, but when we did try it, my mum said it's mad, but you just ask yourself questions, like, and first you'll say, like, what is yes, and then your body will move. In fact, try it now. If you're watching this, try it now. I'm going to stand up with it. Try it. Tell us you're all standing up. Try this. See if you think it works. So what you do is you say something like, because you need to know, like I say, what is yes and what is no. Normally people go forward and backwards. I can't imagine people going right and left, but you might. But normally forward and backwards. So say, you can either say what is yes, or you can say something like, my name is Hayley, because that's true, that's right. Just stand up, good. So you say yourself, so what you're going to do is relax your body, close your eyes, and just say, like, because it's questions, so say, is my name Amanda? And just relax your body, don't force anything, and then see which way your body goes. So if it goes forward, then more than likely that's yes. And then you say something, also say maybe unanswered, my mum said. So literally say, so tell us if it works, Amanda. So stand up and just go, is my name Amanda? And then if it goes forward, that's your yes. If it goes back, that must be your yes. But then if it goes backwards, backwards is normally no. So if it does that, ask yourself another question, but definitely don't try and move your body, just relax. And then what you can do is you can find out if you've got any past traumas, because it's like your body's accessing, like, parts of your brain. It's just really weird. So you can say, do I have trapped traumas in my body? And like, that said yes for me. So yes, it did. Right, okay. So what you can do is you can say, like, you can even ask yourself, like, am I happy? You know what I mean? Like, is the past traumas in my life? And then you go down and you find out I'll sit down now. You find out, you know, where these trapped emotions come from. So you can say, is this from a trauma? And if it is, yes. Say, did this trauma happen at birth, at childbirth, or did it happen in the womb? You can even go as far back in the womb. It might even be past life. So you can say, like, is this trauma from this lifetime? And it'll tell you. Is this trauma from past life? Because you can pass trauma down through generations as well. It's mad. Definitely give it a go. And then when you find out what your trauma is, okay, when you find out what it is, what you're supposed to do, especially this is what Jess Cunningham does, is you go back and you kind of have to, like, right, I'm going to give an example, like Ruby. So Ruby hates a neck being touched, right? And we only sussed this out, I think it was a couple month ago or a year ago. But if someone knocked her neck, she'd go like this. You couldn't touch her neck. Even washing it, she has a sponge and she washes it and she would just do this. And I'm like, Ruby, you need to wash your neck. Well, when I was pregnant with Ruby, she had the cord wrapped around her neck. And I had to be knocked out and rushed off to A&E and be cut open. I didn't want to have a C-section, but it was a life or death thing. And she could have died. And then obviously by the time I came back around, she was without me for a while, which has got a lot of separation anxiety. So that separation anxiety and that feel of her neck could be from that trauma. So you have to, you can say, like, is it from this time? And then anyway, what we did with Ruby is I've had to try and go back and condition her and say, like, for her to repeat these words out loud and say, like, I'm safe, I'm okay, like, and kind of do things like that. And then eventually I just touch her neck for her to feel those new affirmations with it. So not a feel of panic and whatever, but a feel of, like, I'm okay, I'm safe, I'm okay, and stroke her neck like that. And you know what it is? Honestly, your kids or your child or whoever, right, that will have trauma. But you know that people can have trauma through little things as a kid. Like, just little things that you would never think would be traumatic. Like, that would stick with you. So it could even be just falling over. Like, people goes, oh, well, everyone falls over. That's not trauma. But that, like, say if you fall over and you hit your knee or whatever, and say, for example, someone says, oh, you're all right, man, stop crying or whatever, like, all that can be trapped emotion because of that trauma, or just that trauma in itself could have been so much for you to manage or regulate your emotions that it sticks. Oh, 100%. We can hold traumas we don't even realise exactly until we examine. So it's kind of working out. So you can kind of, I started writing stuff down about traumas that I'm aware of, things that happened that I can imagine being traumatic for me. So then once you've kind of worked them out, you can kind of do that other thing to say, like, if I missed any traumas out, was it in this lifetime? And then when you get to that place, you correct it and you tell it the belief that you want it, because your brain will take in and believe, like, your subconscious believes anything, will believe anything. And this is why the placebo works as well. So if you haven't already, like, look up the placebo effect. And it's kind of they've done experiments where they've given a group of people, like, a pill that they've told is the medicine that they need for whatever it is they've got, and they've given another group the pill that is not really the pill, it was like sugar coated or whatever, but they told the person that that was the pill, and their bodies responded as if it was real. So they've healed themselves or whatever, because of the placebo effect, because your subconscious mind believes that that's going to heal you. Your body starts healing. And this is another thing people don't realise, is how important your body is, and that you can heal yourself. And as my mum's proven, like, with our chronic illnesses and stuff, and before that, when I had my thyroid, I was in denial, and I was like, there's no way I'm being on meds for life. Like, I was just in so much denial, and I healed myself. Like, I don't take any meds, and I literally was stroking my throat, and I used to say, you're fine, you know how to heal yourself, like, my body. And I trusted my body, and I did this every single day. So I did that. I was eating healthy, I started going for walks, and I was just very, very conscious, and absolutely healed myself. And this is what, if you like this sort of stuff, read by Joe Dispenza, the power of the subconscious mind, and he tells you so many stories about people who are told they'll never walk again. And if I'm honest, I think with cancer, the biggest thing with cancer is the fear around it. And really what cancer is, it's just mutations in your cells. Those mutations are obviously caused by something in your life, whether it's chemical, external. There's lots of different reasons why. Some of the genes can be just turned by nothing. It's not a case of, some people get it when they're healthy and then this. It can be past traumas, it can be anything, but they're literally mutations. That's what cancer is. It's your cells mutating, and then this mutation grows and they take over the healthy cells. But we are told, like, oh, cancer, there's still no cure. The saying there's loads of cures now, but like at the times, like, no, there's no cure for this type of cancer. There's no cure. So if you get diagnosed with that type of cancer, what do you think your brain's going to tell yourself? Like, oh my God, I'm at like this percent of like dying. Yeah. You okay? Is it still not hot? What temperature is that at? Oh, that's cold, baby.
It's not feel cold.
Listen, if she wants to get in, let her in. If it's cold, it's cold. Yeah. Like, go and see Dad. Go on. Ruby! I would just let her in. Why not?
It's freezing now.
Oh, and if she wants to go in, let her be freezing. Laughing.
What are you doing, Dad?
It's not going to be warm. It's not going to be nice though, Ruby. You're going to be in and straight out. I bet you puts her feet in and wants to come out. I suffered with psycho all of last year. It was tremendous. I really believe it was worse because I was so unhappy with my job. I may be wrong, but since I've now changed my job, I'm so much happier. I've not suffered half the pain. It's mad. It is, and you know, like different stresses and different things, it can come out in my body in different parts of our body as well. Yes. She can deal with it. Right, well, go get your bathing on quickly, and I'm going to come down. Right. Anyway, at the beginning, I'm thinking, oh, what am I going to cover on this chat? And like I said, it's hard because I ideally wanted people to come on and talk about, their stories and stuff like that. But just know that whatever you're going through, it's not permanent. It's not permanent. And the things in your body, like illnesses and diseases and all these things, like disease, if you break the way down, it's like, it's not in ease, it's in dis-ease. You're not in ease, you're in dis-ease. So it means your body's not friggin' happy with something. So it could be your diet, it could be chemicals, and this is the podcast I'm working on as well, is about the body and the chemicals we put on it and in it. So things like, moisturisers, what moisturiser you use, how you check the chemicals in that moisturiser, because there's a lot of chemicals that are in daily things we use that are endocrine disruptors. So we've got like 12 main systems in my body, like your respiratory system, your endocrine system, kind of think off the top of my head, but anyway, you've got all these systems in your body, and the chemicals we use can disrupt them, and then when they're disrupted, your body's not functioning properly. So my mum again, you always used to say things like your car, if you're putting petrol in a diesel, you're gonna fuck it up. So, and over time, if you're not looking after it and servicing it and changing the brakes, and it's just going to conk out. So your body, you have to listen to your body. And there's things that you may be unwell with because of the trauma in your past. Or the anxiety could be because of your belief systems. It might not just be something that's just come. You've had a reason it's built up over time. You could have had a traumatic experience. Or it could be that chemical element. Like, we're all chemical beings. Like, we really were. That's why medicine works in the first place, because the chemicals you put in the body to fix things. But most of the times they don't fix things. They just kind of block that receptor off. It's like painkillers don't help the problem. They just block you feeling it. And that is it. And really, we shouldn't be just blocking things off when you get to the problem. So the things that I was going to be covering was things like what will put my body in. Just go and Google this, and Google like chemicals that have been banned or caused, things like cancer, like anything that says it's carcinogenic. So I don't know if anybody's aware of this, but can you remember Johnson & Johnson was sued for having cancer causing chemicals in baby products? So one of them was like the talcum powder, and this is like a fact, so go and like look it up. So they got banned from using talcum powder, and there's been lots of other things that they've had to take off the shelf. So for example, I've got it here. This is one of the things I'm recording. So this here, I actually rang the Body Shop and nobody got back to us, so I need to ring them again. This is grapeseed gloss and serum, right? And it's got a chemical in this that is now, and I've went on the proper websites and everything to validate this. This was took off the shelf last, what was the month? I can't remember the month. I think it was June 2022, I think it was. So it was took off the shelf then, but I didn't get an email to say that it was took off the shelf and stop using it, because there's no way that they do that. They don't go, oh, we've got chemicals, can we take your details in case, you know, we have a recall. They don't do that. And then what tests were put in place in the first place? Sometimes the testing, we just trust what we're buying off the shelf, so we think it's fine because it's being sold, and it's not the case. Things are being took off the shelf like all of the time. So this serum here, it can cause infertility problems. So the chemical anyway that was in it, the chemical is now being banned from use in any cosmetic products. So if a shop has had this in, oh, that's what it said on the proper document, it was getting banned, but they had like time to then have to take it off the shelves. So even though it had like chemicals in that obviously were hazardous, right, they still had a period of time that they could sell it before they had to stop. Like, what the fuck? Like, wouldn't you just as a company go, I'm not risking it, I'm going to lose money and take this all off the shelf so nobody buys it? So that's just one product. And then you've got things like toothpaste, which people are aware of. Yeah, it was top news years ago. And there's still things all of the time coming up, but they just don't publicise it because everyone will be shit scared and then start searching everything and realising that a lot of the stuff that we use are not good for our body and for our health. And I'm going to say, let's call it sun cream. Really, really look into your sun cream. Look into it, because the chemicals in sun cream. And there's alternatives as well. So I've got this app, it's called Yuka, Yuka, and it's got chemicals in. Sorry, it lists, you can scan the chemicals and it tells you if they're hazardous, if they're moderate risk, if it's a low risk, or if it's fine. You can do it on food and chemicals, and the app's great. But then they also leave links under, so you can go and look at the actual proper literature. Sun Care Central. So, but anyway, I'm gonna log off for now. So if you're watching this on replay, I might not come on next Monday. I might. It depends. But if anybody between now and then would like to come on and talk about anything mental health related, it could be just anything. It could be just normal chit chat about your life, about someone else's life. It doesn't have to be you that wants to share a story. It could be a story about someone else. Then I can keep this up. But if not, then I think I'll just kind of put it on the back burner for now. Focus on Ruby and our home education. I'm getting back into my Forex again because it's been a while, and I'll kind of just focus on that. Holland Bio's organic. Yeah, that's another thing. Organic. When something says it's organic, don't trust it. There's a website you can go on as well where they've got to have a certain label, and it's the soil. You need to know, like for food, sorry, if the soil is okay and what chemicals the soil got in. So there's a label that you can look. Right, I'm gonna go because she's got to pay that on. But anyway, I hope you're all well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging around, Amanda. And if you ever want to chat, you know where I am anyway. And I'm gonna go and dunk this one in the hot tub. So we'll dunk you in.
No, yeah.
And then just get into bed. And I'm going to bed too because I'm
Me
tired.
not go to bed.
So anyway, want to say bye, Mama, as well?
Bye!
Just out a bye. Right, so anyway, take care, everybody. And yeah, you might see us next week, you might not, but I'll let you know. Bye.